Here's a thought that should mess with your head a little. The next plane you fly on might not have windows, wings you recognize, or even jet fuel in its tanks. And the wild part, some of these aircraft already exist. For more than 100 years, airplanes have followed the same basic blueprint. Long metal tube, two wings, engines hanging underneath like afterthoughts. It's a design that took us across oceans, through wars, and into the age of mass travel. It works, it's safe, it's familiar. And that's exactly why engineers are now trying to break it. Quietly, behind hangar doors and inside wind tunnels, aviation's rulebook is being torn up. Designers are reshaping wings until they almost disappear. They're moving engines, deleting windows, rethinking cabins, and ditching jet fuel entirely. Not as sci-fi concepts, but as aircraft that are flying, testing, or being built right now. So today, we're stepping inside the radical redesign of tomorrow's airplanes. Not ideas, not sketches, real machines that could make today's jets look ancient. And we're starting with one of the most disruptive shapes aviation has ever seriously considered: the plane that isn't a tube anymore. At first glance, a blended wing-body aircraft barely looks like an airplane at all. There's no clear line between the wings and the fuselage, no tube with parts bolted on. Instead, the entire aircraft is one smooth, continuous shape, like a flying manta ray. And here's why that matters. On a conventional airliner, the fuselage contributes almost nothing to lift. It's basically dead weight being dragged through the sky while the wings do all the work. In a blended wing body, the body is part of the wing. Almost every surface is lifting. That single change rewrites the math of flight. By eliminating the harsh junction between wing and body, drag drops dramatically. Wind tunnel studies and flight tests consistently show fuel savings of 20% or more, and in some military analyses, aerodynamic efficiency jumps by 30% or higher. That's not a tweak, that's a reset. The idea itself isn't new. Engineers played with similar shapes as far back as the 1920s, with, let's say, mixed results. The problem wasn't imagination, it was control. Early aircraft simply couldn't handle the complex aerodynamics. Modern computing changed that. Fly-by-wire systems, advanced simulations, and lightweight composite materials made these shapes not only controllable, but stable. NASA proved it in the 1990s with the B-17. Boeing followed with the X-48, which flew successfully and shocked skeptics by handling like a normal aircraft. Then came the real turning point. In 2019, Airbus flew its Maverick demonstrator, confirming that blended wing designs could work at commercial scales. Today, companies like JetZero are building full-scale demonstrators backed by hundreds of millions of dollars in government funding, targeting first flights before the end of the decade. Others, like Nautilus, are designing cargo and passenger aircraft promising up to 50% lower emissions, massive payload increases, and quieter operations. Of course, nothing this radical comes free. Windowless cabins raise psychological questions. Evacuation layouts get complicated. Airports aren't built for aircraft this wide. But when an aircraft offers huge efficiency gains, lower noise, and entirely new cabin layouts, airlines start listening very carefully. This might not just be the future of aviation. It might be the first future aircraft you actually fly on. 2. The end of jet fuel as we know it. Now, let's talk about the fuel itself, because the next revolution doesn't just change the shape of airplanes, it changes what powers them. A hydrogen-powered aircraft replaces jet fuel with hydrogen, either burned in modified engines or fed into fuel cells that generate electricity for electric propulsors. When done right, the only byproduct is water vapor. That's it. Hydrogen also packs nearly 3 times more energy per kilogram than jet fuel. That means lighter fuel loads for the same range. But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Hydrogen is bulky, extremely bulky, and to store it efficiently, it has to be cooled to -253 degrees Celsius and kept in large cryogenic tanks. You can't just squeeze it into today's wings. So designers have to rethink the aircraft from the inside out. This is why hydrogen aircraft often look strange. Tanks move into the fuselage, cabins shift, aircraft get wider or more blended. The fuel doesn't adapt to the plane adapts to the fuel. Airbus believes the pain is worth it. Their zero hydrogen concepts target entry into service around 2035, and industry forecasts suggest hydrogen could supply up to 1/3 of aviation's energy demand by 2050. Boeing, on the other hand, is far more cautious. And that split tells you everything about how disruptive this shift really is. Hydrogen aircraft aren't theoretical anymore. The HY-4 fuel cell aircraft has already flown, doubling its range when switching from gaseous to liquid hydrogen. In 2024, a hydrogen electric plane flew more than 500 miles nonstop, over 5 times the range of its battery-only version. That wasn't a lab test. That was real airspace. Infrastructure remains the biggest hurdle. Green hydrogen is scarce. Airports aren't ready. Costs are high. But engineers keep asking a dangerous question. If hydrogen works, why would aviation ever go back to jet fuel? 3. The quiet rise of hybrid and electric airliners. While hydrogen eyes the long game, electric and hybrid aircraft are attacking a much closer target. Short regional flights. Pure electric aircraft face one brutal limitation. Batteries still store far less energy than jet fuel. That makes long-haul electric flight impractical for now. Hybrid systems change everything. A hybrid aircraft combines electric motors with a fuel-burning generator. Sometimes it flies fully electric. Sometimes both systems work together. Either way, fuel burn drops sharply. This concept has been flying for over a decade. The Diamond DA-36 E-Star, first flown in 2011, proved it could cut fuel consumption and emissions by up to 25% using a small engine to power an electric motor. Since then, momentum exploded. Airbus partnered with Rolls-Royce on the E-Fan X demonstrator. NASA launched efficiency challenges that pushed designs to extremes. Startups like Ampere, Faradair, and Voltero began converting real commuter aircraft, not just building prototypes. Here's the key insight. These planes aren't meant for transatlantic flights. They're built for short routes, island hops, regional links, flights under an hour, the ones airlines fly thousands of times a day. That's where fuel savings of 30 to 50% add up fast. Industry forecasts expect 50-plus seat hybrid electric airliners to enter service in the early 2030s. And when that happens, flying may get quieter, cheaper, and cleaner without passengers even noticing the revolution happening beneath their feet. And this is where aviation's most controversial dream comes roaring back to life. 4. Supersonic flight, rewritten for the real world. Supersonic jets fly faster than the speed of sound. Mach 1, a threshold humanity first shattered in 1947 with the Bell X-1. Since then, supersonic flight has lived almost exclusively in military hangars and test ranges. Only 2 passenger aircraft ever made it work, Concorde and the Soviet Tu-144. Both proved the same brutal truth. Speed wasn't the problem, everything else was. Flying faster than sound creates shockwaves, sonic booms that rattle buildings and shatter windows. Drag skyrockets near Mach 1. Heat builds fast. Fuel burn explodes. Concorde solved these problems with delta wings, afterburners, and exotic materials, cruising at Mach 2 across the Atlantic. But the cost was staggering. Concorde burned fuel at a rate airlines could barely justify, and its sonic boom got it banned from supersonic flight over land. In the end, it wasn't a failure of engineering. It was a failure of timing. Today's supersonic aircraft aren't chasing raw speed anymore. They're chasing quiet. Modern designs reshape shockwaves instead of fighting them. Advanced aerodynamics stretch and soften the boom until it becomes a distant thump rather than an explosion. New materials handle heat without massive weight penalties, and engines are optimized for efficiency, not spectacle. Instead of 300-seat jets, the new vision is narrow, business-class-only cabins, premium routes, and economics that actually work. Companies like Boom Supersonic are betting that faster travel doesn't need to be louder, just smarter. NASA's X-59 Quiet Supersonic Demonstrator is already testing low-boom flight profiles that could make overland supersonic travel legal again. Supersonic flight didn't fail, it just arrived too early, and this time, speed might finally make sense. 5. The wing that looks wrong and works too well. Some future airplanes won't shock you with speed or fuel. They'll shock you by looking wrong. Meet the truss-braced wing. Instead of the familiar swept wings, these aircraft use extremely long, ultra-thin wings supported by diagonal braces like a spine holding everything together. This allows the wing to stretch farther without bending or snapping under stress. Think of it as adding bones to a wing. The result? Massive efficiency gains. Longer wings mean less induced drag. Less drag means lower fuel burn, and because the wing is thinner, it slices through the air more cleanly than today's designs. One of the most famous concepts is Boeing's Sugar Volt, part of NASA's Subsonic Ultra-Green Aircraft Research Program. It pairs truss-braced wings with hybrid propulsion, burning fuel during takeoff, then switching to electric power during cruise. The numbers are wild, up to 70% lower emissions than today's airliners, shorter takeoff distances, less noise, dramatically reduced fuel consumption. The trade-offs? Complexity, large batteries, folding wings to fit airport gates, certification headaches. But Boeing isn't guessing anymore. The X-66A demonstrator, based on a modified MD-90, is being built to prove this wing works in the real world. So here's the uncomfortable question airlines will have to answer. If an aircraft saves millions in fuel every year, will anyone care that it looks ugly? 6. When the pilot isn't always there. Fully autonomous passenger aircraft still sound like science fiction, but the path toward them is already paved. Automation doesn't arrive all at once, it creeps in. First cargo, then drones, then air taxis, then single-pilot cockpits. Exactly how it's always happened. Modern airliners already use advanced automation. Autoland systems can land jets in near-zero visibility. Flight management computers fly most of every trip. Pilots increasingly supervise rather than manually fly. The next step isn't pilotless airliners, it's fewer pilots. Cargo aircraft from companies like Reliable Robotics are already flying with remote oversight. Urban air mobility vehicles are being certified with high levels of autonomy. By the 2030s, single-pilot passenger aircraft may become normal, depending on regulation and public trust. And here's the twist that makes people uncomfortable. Autonomous systems may statistically outperform humans long before passengers emotionally accept them. The technology isn't the bottleneck. Trust is. When that barrier finally cracks, flying won't just feel different, it will be different.